The 2017 Skoda Vision E. Skoda is gearing up to kick Tesla's ass with a competitor for the Model X. The production model will be Skoda's first electric vehicle and is set to go on sale at the turn of the decade. But, before all of that happens, Skoda has decided to preview that model with an SUV coupe known as the Vision E at the Shanghai Auto Show. Said to have a range of more than 300 miles, all-wheel drive, level 3 autonomy, and a silhouette that's sure to grind Wonder Boy's gears a bit, the Vision E proves that Skoda isn't playing around these days. Its production equivalent will likely be toned down as far as exterior design goes, especially in the front end. But that's usually the case when it comes to concepts, right? Back to the subject at hand, the Vision E is just a bit shorter and wider than the new Kodiaq and is built on VW's MEB platform. So far, we've yet to see official images, but Skoda saw fit to release a few sketches to keep us on ice until the Shanghai Auto Show kicks off. So, let's dive on in and talk a little more about what's going on with the Vision E, and what it tells us about Skoda's future. Continue reading to learn more about the Skoda Vision E. Exterior. These sketches depict an exterior design that will likely change quite a bit before we see the production model. If the Skoda Kodiaq is an indication of the way Skoda plays the game, the production version of this model will probably look a lot like the upcoming Audi Q8. After all, the VW umbrella is worse at badge engineering than GM at this point. But, as far as this concept goes, we've got the low-sitting greenhouse to give it a coupe-like look up top, and a wider body below the waistline to give it some SUV proportions as well. The front end is void of any grille, a nod to its all-electric nature, while the whole nose is lit up like a Christmas tree with LEDs. It starts off with the small and oddly shaped LED headlights in the corners that are connected by a thin LED strip that runs the same path as the tip of the hood. Sure enough, this LED stripe reminds me of the chrome trim and Tesla emblem on the front of the Model X, lacking the sharp downward point in the middle, of course. Down below, another LED strip runs almost the full width of the fascia, however, this strip is a bit taller than the one above it. As far as this concept goes, we've got the low-sitting greenhouse to give it a coupe-like look up top, and a wider body below the waistline to give it some SUV proportions as well. The muscular lines of the hood match those of the peaks on the fender and those on the side profile. The lower body lines and concave section above the side skirts look oddly reminiscent of the Q8 Sport concept that we just saw at the Geneva Auto Show, shocker. The wheel arches are flared rather dramatically, with an emphasis in the rear for what appears to be wider wheels and tires. The body line just below the waistline is fabricated in a way that it protrudes from the body to create this funky little overlay from the front door back. A long trim insert with the Skoda logo, and possibly LED backlit, traverses from the front fender, across the front door, and ultimately terminates at the rear door. Like the Audi Q8 concepts, the Vision E has no door handles. The sketches also reveal an interesting rear end that features curved rear glass and a rear hatch with jagged edges on the side. There's actually a bit of Q8 DNA here as well, but the slope of the roof and the rear glass helps to cover that up well. The taillights are 3D, triangular units with a cool matrix layout. They are split between the rear quarters, rear hatch, and lower fascia. The rear Skoda logo looks to be backlit, while a long strip down below takes the same matrix layout of the taillights and adds some color to the lower end. The bottom of the fascia gets a weird mesh-like insert to go with a large piece of upswept plastic that probably has more to do with aerodynamics than looks. I hope. All told, it's a striking design, but the production model will be toned down a lot, so don't get too excited. Interior. So far, we don't know what's going on inside, but some sources indicate that it will have a 12-inch display in the center that's placing in a landscape orientation. There will be a total of 4 seats, and since there's no engine to deal with, the firewall is pushed farther forward, making for greater room inside. The battery is integrated into the floor, which is also flat and is said to offer significant space savings as well. Since there will be individual seats in the rear, I wouldn't expect the rear seats to fold down for extra cargo room, but there could be some kind of sliding system integrated to allow for some customization. Outside of this, we'll just have to wait until Skoda shows of its latest concept, so stay tuned. Drivetrain. So, you want to talk about motivation, huh? Well, the Vision E concept makes use of two electric motors. One motor drives the rear axle while the other drives the front, and can assumingly adjust torque delivery as needed for various road conditions. Total system output is rated at 225 kilowatts, which computes to 301.73 horsepower or just over 75 ponies per wheel under full torque delivery. The battery is built into the floor pan and is said to be some advanced take on the lithium-ion setups found in most electric cars. There are no battery ratings published as of year, but Skoda claims a range of 311 miles is attainable, which is 16 miles more than the Model X 100D can pull off on a full charge, and 74 miles more than the entry-level 75D at 237 miles. The battery is built into the floor pan and is said to be some advanced take on the lithium-ion setups found in most electric cars. With that in mind, it should also be noted that Skoda is claiming Level 3 autonomy is available in this concept. No word as to whether that will be fitted to the production model down the road, but the concept is said to be able to maneuver traffic jams, drive autonomously on the highway, keep itself in a lane, swerve, and carry out overtaking maneuvers. It also claims that it can search out a parking spot and park itself as well. Of course, it's just a concept, so it's not likely we'll ever see it in action, but it's cool to think about. Conclusion. Needless to say, the Skoda concept is pretty cool looking and certainly has the credentials of an impressive model. I wish we were looking at a production model instead of a concept that will likely morph into a much more boring model, but it's still nice to see the Skoda emblem on such a bold vehicle. For now, I'm just curious to see what the interior looks like and what kind of creature comforts the brand is hoping to offer come 2020 when the production version of this concept rolls into dealers. Until then, check out the sketches for yourself and let us know what you think about it in the comments section below. Love it bold design, interesting taillights said to be spacious inside. Leave it production model will be toned down significantly, still not a fan of the coupe-like SUV craze, no battery specs.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.